Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session. We have 3 dockets. Our first docket that we're calling is the pretrial conference plea docket. And the first case is cause number 329346. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Caitlin Elvira Sarah Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Thomas, is that your full name?
Yes, sir, it is.
How you doing, Ms. Thomas?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Ms. Thomas, you're here, represented by your attorney Marva Provo. Ms. Provo, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor.
State is represented by attorney Tommy Coleman. Attorney Coleman, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
Ms. Provo, what is your announcement in Ms. Thomas's case?
Well, Your Honor, we would like to discuss something with you in the process before we make a plea this morning.
Judge, I'm inclined to accept Ms. Provo's counteroffer of a Class C misdemeanor on this theft case, the shoplifting case. The question is a kind of a process question. Couldn't we plead in this court to let's include it, Class C?
No. What's
Or do we have to
normally, no, what
refile?
y'all normally do is refile and file it in the appropriate case. We get cases on appeal.
But so we'd have to refile in JP court. We couldn't just. plead
Well,
to
that's what y'all normally do. I know court has jurisdiction over Class C, but it's normally when the Class Cs are appealed, we don't have, I guess you could say, original jurisdiction where you can file a Class C in county court at law.
Well, just to be clear though, if it was a lesser included, even if we did. it-
Yeah, but normally we just have it refiled in the JP court.
Okay. Judge. Well, that was a question.
Yeah. So this case is, so y'all gonna what are y'all gonna do?
Can we put it on recall, Judge? So Ms.
Put it on
Provo and
hold?
I- Yeah, put it on hold so Ms. Provo and I can continue our negotiation.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the case will be on hold.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Maybe be excused.
yes. Okay, the gentleman that's on Zoom that has Dwayne's iPad, would you please take your mic off of mute and state your full name?
It's Dwayne Burleson.
Burleson? Okay,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Okay, Mr. Burleson, you can put your mic back on mute. When we're ready for your case, we'll call it up.
Okay.
Okay, everyone that's on Zoom, please put your mics on mute. The court is in session. Okay. Mr. Porter. Okay, the court is back in session. We have Mr. Rodney Kenyatta McCoy, cause numbers 319163 and cause number 329483. Mr. McCoy, is your full name Rodney Kenyatta McCoy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. McCoy?
I'm okay, sir.
That's good. Mr. McCoy, are you here represented by your attorney, Mr. Peter Dahl? Mr. Dahl, how are you doing?
Very good.
And the state is represented by Attorney Kathleen Nelson. Attorney Nelson, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Judge.
Mr. Dahl, what's your announcement in Mr. McCoy's case?
I have a suggestion to improve the last offer, but I don't know whether he'll take it. So
So you need to talk to your client or you need to talk to the prosecutor? That's what you're saying?
probably both.
Okay, well, we'll hold on this, give you time to do that. Okay. Court is in session in two cases. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Wendell D. Melanson. Mr. Melanson has two cases. First case is cause number 328346. Second case is cause number 328348. Both cases again are styled the state of Texas versus Wendell D. Melanson. Mr. Melanson, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Melanson?
All right, yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Melanson, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Alan Parker. Mr. Parker, how are you doing?
Fine, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Parker, what is your announcement in Mr. Melanson's cases?
We need a little more time, Judge. We have an offer that we need to, I wasn't dealing with.
You did a different prosecutor?
Yeah, I was dealing several different prosecutors.
Okay,
And so there's an issue about offers that was made, and what I have done. We want to straighten that up. and
okay.
Ask for time to do that.
Okay, how much time do you need?
Just standard, a regular reset.
30 days?
That's fine.
Reset? June 20th. Let's see, did Mr. Melanson, does he have bond conditions in this case?
Yes, Judge.
He does? Mr. Melanson, you have bond conditions? I think one of your cases is required to get a interlock, is that correct? And you was able to get that?
I'm not driving.
Oh, you don't have a vehicle?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Mr. Parker, please sign for Mr. Melanson's
Okay.
reset. And once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Just hang tight. I'll wait for that. Small, that's that. Just check.
Next case is cause number, we have Mr. Ryan Stephen Jackson. Mr. Jackson has two cases. First case is cause number 330670. Second case is cause number 331584. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Ryan Stephen Jackson. Mr. Jackson, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Jackson?
Doing good.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Jackson, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Alan Parker. Mr. Parker, what's your announcement in Mr. Jackson's cases?
Your Honor, there may be another case, basically out of the same incident but we just need time for discovery and various things regarding another
Okay.
case that may be filed,
Okay, how much time you need?
probably 60 days.
Okay, give us a date.
Okay, July 25th.
Okay, this case, well, these cases are going to be reset July 25th of 2022. Mr. Parker is going to sign for your reset, Mr. Jackson. Once you get your resets, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Parker, once you get your resets, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day. You can stand over there with your attorney. Court is in session in cause number 323950, case of South State of Texas versus Darren Klein. Mr. Klein, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Klein? That's good. Mr. Klein, You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Thomas Mayo. Attorney Mayo, how you doing?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Mayo, what's your announcement in Mr. Klein's case?
We're ready for trial, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Mayo, this case is going to have to be reset.
Okay.
Okay, give us a reset trial date,
June 27th.
June 27th.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Mayo, this case will be reset June 27th. You can get your sign for your reset. Mr. Klein, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Mr. Mayo, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Mr. Reynolds, could we get James Perret? Mr. Porter, and see if Ryan Foster is also out there. James Perret. He's on the page 2 of the trial document.
No, you.
And then Ryan Foster is on page 4 of the trial document. Okay, court is in session. In cause number 326502. The case is style of state of Texas versus James Parrott. We have Mr. Parrott. Mr. Parrott, is that your full name? Hey, Mr. Parrott, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Reynolds, what's your announcement in Mr. Parrott's case?
I think the state filed a motion.
Oh,
Is this one of the cases I filed a motion for? Is it on the trial document?
Yes.
Yes, Judge, state,
okay. Do you have any,
in light of the circumstances.
yeah,
since
Yeah.
the state filed a motion.
you have any objections?
No.
Okay, no objection.
Sorry, that's news to me, but thanks for letting me know.
Okay, motion for continuance for the state is gonna be granted. Late night. Mr. Reynolds, you can sign. Give us a reset date, June 27th. Mr. Reynolds, you can sign for that reset. And Mr. Parrott, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. All right. Stand over there by your attorney. Mr. Reynolds, you have another case too. Okay, court is in session. In cause number 329330, case solid state of Texas versus Ryan Foster. Ryan L. Foster was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the trial docket. At about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Ryan Foster. Ryan Foster did not answer. The time now is 9:30 a.m. The court's bailiff called the name of Ryan Foster again at the courthouse door, and Ryan Foster did not answer. Ryan Foster has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. Mr. Foster's attorney, Mr. Nathan Reynolds, is present. State, do you have a motion?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You have a motion?
Yes. Yeah. We'd ask for a bond forfeiture. Your Honor.
Okay, and that motion will be granted. Ryan Foster's bond will be forfeited. Warrant shall be issued for his arrest in cause number 329330. Mr. Reynolds, you're free to go.
Judge, if with court's permission, if he does show up, if the
clerk or coordinator could contact me, I can send that in for the next
Okay,
meeting.
okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Mr. Macy? Are you ready on your case?
I'm ready.
Okay, is that Sade Simpson? He's on the announcement docket, Sade Simpson. Oh, that's the plea?
Yes. I reviewed the paperwork. I don't know if they have the documents to go along with my certification and trial of discovery yet. And I don't know if they've signed the,
Oh, okay, so you're still working on it? Is that what you're saying?
I'm finished. I don't know whether they're finished, but I'm finished.
Have they been?
Your Honor, we just haven't had a chance to get to it.
Okay, we'll hold on it. Ms. Simpson, just have a seat. Kenan Antoine?
Jaquina, Your Honor?
Yeah, Kenan Antoine, would you please?
Your Honor, he is here, but those
Yes.
cases were dismissed on the 6th.
What is that on the door? Oh.
Because it probably was dismissed at that point.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So is he free to go, Your Honor?
yes, he don't have any cases. Okay, hold on a minute. I think that's Mr. Coleman's case.
I believe it is, Your Honor.
He's on the pretrial conference docket, Markel Freeland. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. We have three cases. First case is cause number 328154. Second case is cause number 329548. And the third case is cause number 329766. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Markel Jermaine Freelo. Mr. Freelo, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Freelo, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Kevin Lane. Mr. Lane, how are you doing?
Fine, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Lane, what's your announcement in Mr. Freelo's cases?
Well, Your Honor, I had filed a motion for continuance, so he didn't have to appear today, but it was, it didn't get to the court's hands. This was filed on the 5th. He was shot last week. And I've given proof of his admittance to the hospital. Apparently he's been released. We have an offer for the state of 60 days in jail to resolve these cases. I just don't think that Mr. Freelo can go into jail at this time. That might be something we could, if the state.
So you want to reset it to, on a plea docket or something?
I think that's what we can do if that's okay with the court.
Well, you can reset it on a plea docket.
Okay. Is that okay with you?
How much time do you need?
I'm still going to therapy I go 3 times a week. I go to therapy 3 times a week. I go to the womb nurse 2 times a week, so
Is it something we can
probably
do?
be like a month or 2.
About 60 days? That'd
Yes.
be fine?
Not
Yes.
close to that, Judge.
Okay. I'll give us a 60-day reset. What's that date? July 25th, 22 to 2, Mr. Freelo. Your case has been, your cases have been reset to July 25th, 2022. We be praying that you have a speedy recovery. Stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go on your blessed day. Okay. What's your stand over there? Mr. Bailiff, see if Roderick Bryant is present. Yeah, he's the last one on the pretrial conference docket.
Judge, we approach him McCoy.
Hold on, I still have Mr. Lane. This is another one of Mr. Lane's cases.
Yes, sir.
What is Mr. Lane? Where's Mr. Lane? Okay,
That's my trial docket case, Your Honor.
okay. You have Roderick Bryant too.
No response.
Okay. Now, let's see. This is cause number 330748. Case of South State of Texas versus Roderick Demond Bryant Jr. Roderick Bryant was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 o'clock for the court's pretrial conference plea docket. At about 9 o'clock, the court's bailiff called the name of Roderick Bryant. Roderick Bryant did not answer. The court's bailiff also called Roderick Bryant's name again at 9:38 a.m. on today's date, which is May 9th of 2022. And Roderick Bryant did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Bryant an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, state Mr. Bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Mr. Bryant's bond will be forfeited and the warrant shall be issued for his arrest. Now, Mr. Lane has another case on the court's trial docket. Is it Frederick Joseph Washington?
He's present.
Mr. Washington, would you please come forward? Okay, Mr. Washington, your full name is Frederick Joseph Washington?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Washington?
Okay, and you?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Washington, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Lane. Mr. Lane, what's your announcement, Mr. Washington's case?
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement with the state whereby Mr. Washington will be placed in jail for 30 days on this DWI case. However, we're asking the court, and we'd like to stipulate that this is a guarantee. However, we would like to do that in 2 weeks if we may.
Your Honor, I am preparing a written stipulation of evidence that Mr. Lane, his client would sign if we can put this case on hold.
Let me do, I mean, you could do it either one or two ways. I mean, he could plead today and his jail time could start in 2 weeks.
That's okay with us, Your Honor.
It's the same, he already pled today, it's just his jail time will start in, on a, whatever that date is.
Yes, if we'll put a surrender date on there and time, we'll be.
Yeah.
So I'll tell the coordinator to prepare the paperwork.
Okay, yeah, you gotta do it on the, do it on the tab.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Somebody had asked to approach this. Was that Mr. Dole? You had asked to approach the bench. Is it on the case that we previously had?
Yes, sir.
McCoy? Rodney McCoy? Okay,
We've made progress on the first case, but there's a second case.
yes, I
To be
see.
fair to the prosecutor, I don't think they've had a chance to look at it.
Are you talking about the trespassing case?
So we'd like 2 weeks.
Y'all just need to reset it on a plea docket? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I've offered, yeah, I made an
Yeah,
offer.
probably, but, you know, I don't want you to get mad if we don't with it, but.
I mean, we can put it on, and we'll reset it 30 days on a plea docket. He said 2 weeks. Which one is better?
30 days would be.
30 days would be fine with me.
Okay, let's get a reset McCoy on a plea docket in 30 days. June 20th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this case will reset to June 20th, 2022. Mr. Dahl, you can sign for the reset. Mr. McCoy, you can stand over there with your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Okay.
Your Honor, may I pray?
Okay, is that on Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor, I have two
Oh,
cases.
okay, yeah, it's okay. Let's see, we have Javier Rodriguez.
And that's on the trial docket, and then I have a Michael Fiedler. It should be on the plea docket, but I wanted to approach that as well.
Okay, would you get Mr. Bailey's 2 cases?
I like their sheet. And have it.
Okay, this is cause number 322346. Case of style of state of Texas versus Michael Carl Fiedler Jr. Mr. Fiedler is present with his attorney, Mr. Jansen Bailey. And Mr. Fiedler, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Mr. Bailey, how you
I'm
doing?
doing well, Your Honor.
Mr. Bailey, what's your announcement in Mr. Fiedler's case?
Your Honor, this case is a case that's lingered for a while.
Right.
It should have been refiled as an obstruction of a highway. It's currently as a DWI. I understand I haven't spoke with this prosecutor for the state, but there've been multiple and we have failed to get it done. And I'm not pointing fingers. I asked if it hasn't been done today, that it be reset on a trial docket and it be designated as a try or dismiss.
I don't know about that.
Your
But
Honor,
I can just-
represent to the court that if that is to refile it, and that was the agreement, that we'll make it happen here in short order.
Okay.
I'll make it happen.
Okay, let me do this. Let's put it on the, we're gonna keep it on the pretrial conference docket. How much time you need? 30 days?
30.
30,
And last.
what about
60?
60? That's right.
I'm gonna be out. for
Okay,
some other-
okay. Give us 60 days reset on Fiedler. It's gonna be reset to July 25th. And it's supposed to be a refile, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have no reason to doubt it. I just.
I understand. And I spoke with Ray about it just now.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Bailey, you can sign for Mr. Fiedler's over there. And next, yeah. Once you get his, no, you gotta sign over on that pad. And once you get your, Mr. Fiedler, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay, this is cause number 320275. The case is style, State of Texas versus Javier Rico Rodriguez. And Mr. Rodriguez is on the court's trial docket. Mr. Rodriguez, how are you doing?
What's up?
That's good. Mr. Rodriguez is represented here by his attorney, Mr. Jansen Bailey. Mr. Bailey, what's your announcement?
Your Honor, at this point, we're asking for a continuance. I'm in trial currently in Harris County,
Okay,
and so we're asking for the case to be
give
reset.
us a 60-day reset.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State you don't have any objection, do
No
you?
objection, Your Honor.
July 25th. Okay. Mr. Bailey, has Jesus Onofre showed up? No response. Is Justice Ajay? Attorney Justice Ajay?
Hi, yes, sir. I'm representing Mr. Adri. Well, I'm just his paralegal. He's at the doctor right now. He's not feeling well. So they told me to go ahead and zoom in for him and advise you what was going on.
Okay, his client, Mr. Jesus Onofre, has not appeared.
Okay,
Let's do this here. This is cause number 321549.
that's
Case of
right.
the State of Texas versus Jesus Alberto Onofre.
Oh, that's
Jesus
right.
Onofre was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's trial docket. Jesus Onofre's name was called at about 9 a.m. by the court's bailiff. Jesus Onofre did not answer. The court's bailiff called Jesus Onofre's name again at or about 9:49 a.m. on today's date, and Jesus Onofre again did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Onofre an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, the state asked for a bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Mr. Onofre's bond will be forfeited, and his and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest.
Sir, we did file a motion for continuance. However, it wasn't signed. I called this morning to the court.
Yeah, he did not, but your client did not appeal. Okay, I mean, we'll give you some time. If y'all can contact him, he can make an appearance either by Zoom or by telephone or in person.
Okay, let me try to contact him then.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you give him the Zoom number. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the court is in session and cause number 329032, case and style of State of Texas versus Dwayne Burleson. Mr. Burleson is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Burleson, you can take your mic off of mute. It's on mute right now. Mr. Burleson, you can take your mic off of mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, hi, Mr. Burleson, your full name is Dwayne Burleson.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Burleson?
I'm doing good, Your Honor.
That's good. Mr. Burleson, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Dustin Galmore. Mr. Galmore, how are you doing?
Great, Judge. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Burleson's case?
The state's filed a motion for continuance.
Okay. You have any objections to the state's motion?
I believe it's the first motion on this case.
Okay, this motion will be granted. Mr. Galmore, you can sign for your reset. What's that reset date? Okay, this case, Mr. Burleson, is going to be reset for trial on June 20 what? 27th of 2022. Mr. Burleson, stay in contact with your attorney. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Galmore, she's trying to get your attention.
I only have one more on the docket,
Okay,
and it's Miss Econ.
she's on Zoom, right? Hold on a minute.
I don't know if you have a bench trial docket, but that's what she was scheduled for, a bench trial.
Econ. Econ. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, this is cause number 330272. Case of style of State of Texas versus Uyai Ekong. Ms. Ekong.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, Ms. Ekong, did I pronounce your name correctly?
You did a pretty good job. Close enough.
How is it pronounced?
It's Uyai Ekong.
Uyai Ekong. Okay.
Yes, there you go.
How are you doing, Ms. Ekong?
I'm doing well, thank you.
That's good. Ms. Ekong, you're represented here by your attorney, Mr. Galmore. And Mr. Galmore, what's your announcement in Ms. Ekong's case?
Well, Judge, we were scheduled today for a bench trial.
Okay.
But I don't think that the state wants to go forward with a bench trial anymore.
Okay.
After a recent conversation with
Okay. So we're gonna, you wanna set it on a trial docket or?
Yeah, we were set for jury trial last week. So we would like to put it back on the jury trial docket.
Okay, give us What day? Okay, this case is set for June 27th, you said?
Yes, sir.
June 27th of 2022 for trial. Ms. Econ, your attorney is going to sign for your recess. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. They will be giving notice of your reset. Again, your case is set for June 27, 2022. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Okay. Court is in session in cause number 324104. Case is filed, the state of Texas versus Sade Simpson. Ms. Simpson, is that your full name?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Simpson, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Simpson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Simpson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Simpson? You doing fine? Ms. Simpson, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. John Macy. Mr. Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thanks for asking.
Mr. Macy, do you waive a record in Ms. Simpson's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Simpson, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about August 9th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Ms. Simpson, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. Simpson, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Okay.
No contest? Now, Ms. Simpson, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Simpson, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Ms. Simpson, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Ms. Simpson, there are a set of initials, SS, that are on a line next to a box that's checked, no contingent, which means no contest. Ms. Simpson, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, Ms. Simpson, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Ms. Simpson, is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, Ms. Simpson, this document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Ms. Simpson, do you recognize this document? And is that your signature on above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Simpson, at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you are giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Simpson, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Simpson, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Simpson, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you'd like to also offer State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any
States 1
objections
and
to
2.
States 1 and 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objections. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Macy, you revised and counsel Ms. Simpson. Is there any evidence that she is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Simpson, your attorney, Mr. Macy, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Simpson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
45 days, credit for 3 days.
Okay, Ms. Simpson, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for 3 days on this case, 3 days that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $292. Ms. Simpson, will you be able to pay the $292?
Today?
Well, yeah, would you be able to pay it today? Okay. Now, Ms. Simpson, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Mr. Macy, could you show that document to your client? Ms. Simpson, your attorney just handed you a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of that same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defender's Signature at the top left. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Simpson, looking at that document with the information that's provided on that letter, is that still true and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Now, Ms. Simpson, based on the information that's provided here with your income and assets and your expenses and the benefits that you're receiving, you meet the eligibility requirements. The court is going to find that you are indigent. And based upon that finding of indigency, the court costs in this case of $292 will be waived. That just simply means that you would not be required to pay it, and that's pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Now, Ms. Simpson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And the court's findings?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that it's fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the court is going to follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. And this will conclude your case, and Ms. Simpson should be taken into custody today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Simpson, you can follow the bailiff. And yeah, you have a blessed day. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, Ms. Simpson, would you come back? This is a family violence case. I have to read to you an admonition. Here you go. Could you get this to your client? Now, Ms. Simpson, your attorney just handed to you a document that is titled Model Written Admonition on Ineligibility to Possess a Firearm or Ammunition. And in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonish you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Ms. Sampson, that document that you have in your hand is your copy. You can keep it for your record. Just please have a seat in the jury box. And once the bailiff is ready for you, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. Yeah, just have a seat in the jury box. I see he's here. Well, I don't have him checked. I see Marvin Lewis is representing him on his felony case. You know, I see that case is set for trial. Maybe Judge, maybe that trial docket is, oh, there he is. Okay, this is cause number 327650. Case is style of the state of Texas versus Nathaniel Jones Darbone. Mr. Darbone, is that your full case? Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Darbone, how are you doing?
Okay.
You doing okay? Okay, Mr. Darbone, you're here represented in your misdemeanor case by Attorney John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing again?
I'm fine, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Macy, what is the status of Mr. Darbone's felony case? I see it set for trial.
Yeah, I really don't know. I was deferring this case until he resolved his felony case.
Mr. Darbone, is your felony case completed?
No, sir, I'm still waiting on him to call.
You still waiting on him to call your name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Darbone, just go have a seat back in the hallway. Once you go into the felony court, once your case is resolved, you gotta come back here and let us know what they're doing on your case. Okay, if you don't show back up, your bond can be forfeited. The warrant can be issued for your arrest.
Yes, sir.
All right, you just go have a seat back out in the hallway. Okay, Mr. Macy. So are you gonna wait around?
If you need me to.
I mean, if it's just gonna be,
This is my last.
if I don't know, I'm thinking maybe if his case is reset with the felony. Well, if his felony is reset, do you want us to reset the case with the felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, but you can be excused. We'll find out from him when he comes back.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, if we need you, we'll have, they have your number to give you a call.
Yes, Judge, I believe so. I can give it to them if they need it.
Okay,
You want to make a approach?
yes, let's hold on Darbone. Yes, what case you have?
Cause number 330916. It's Philip Battles.
It's on our trial docket? I mean, on our docket?
On your docket for today, I sent in a dismissal on him. He's pled guilty on some felony cases.
Battles?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me.
Hi, this is David Grove. Uh, I am online because I had a case set on me.
Frederick Washington. Yes, he's his client, his attorney is sick. Yeah, we see him on Zoom. Okay. All right, okay. This is cause number 325470. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Frederick Joseph Washington. Mr. Washington, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Washington, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. My computer's a little slow. And my computer is, I'm trying to get this computer to, could you give me a copy of Mr. Washington's information and cause number 325470? Well, let's see, it may be coming up now. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. Washington, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Kevin Lane. Mr. Lane, you have a record in Mr. Washington's case?
Yes, Your Honor. We are entering a no contest plea to the DWI. And we're asking the court to accept the plea, but allow him to surrender May 28th.
Okay, that's in the plea bargain. We'll get that.
I didn't hear what you're actually
As a
asking.
question, are you waiving a record?
We are waiving a record. I'm sorry. I started
Okay.
talking when I didn't hear.
Okay, Mr. Washington, I have before me a document that is titled Information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document alleges that on or about April 29th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to, while you was in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Washington, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Washington, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
No contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest
Yes.
the charge? I think you have to, who filled out this here? You're supposed to check the box, no contest. You didn't check any boxes. Thank you. Now, Mr. Washington, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Here you go again. You checked Class B. You're supposed to check the box for first for a DWI.
me see.
All right. Now, Mr. Washington, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, the box that's checked states that this is a driving while intoxicated first offense, which is a Class B misdemeanor, range of punishment confinement in jail for at least 72 hours, but not to exceed 100 days. A fine not to exceed $2,000 or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that, the range of punishment? Now, on page 2 of the same document, there are 2 sets of initials. First set of initials, FW, second set is KSL. FW, are these your initials, FW?
Yes, sir.
And the KSL is your attorney's initials.
That's correct.
Now, Mr. Washington, on page 3, there's a above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
On the next document, Mr. Washington, which is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I have another document here, Mr. Washington, that's titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Washington. Okay, now, Mr. Washington, on this document, your signature is different from these documents. So yeah, luckily you have your initials on the documents on this doc. Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
Here, or this is your signature?
My initials.
Okay, you gotta change that, get it back to him so he can put his signature in place where he asks for his signature. I think he has 2 spots. I think he has another location. Somewhere in the middle. I think it's in the middle section. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Washington, on State's Exhibit Number 1, which is the misdemeanor, well, on trial court certificate, yeah, State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, on page 3, is that your signature above the line is titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is the trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, is this your signature?
Yes.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also, Mr. Washington, I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Washington, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Washington, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Lane, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Washington, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
For states 1 and 2, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Lane, you advised in counsel, Mr. Washington, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Mr. Washington, your attorney, Mr. Lane has advised in counsel to you, satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Washington, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond the reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
30 days, Jefferson County Jail, surrender May 28th.
May 28. At or before 6 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Washington, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will be given credit for 2 days. And your jail time will begin on May 28 at or about, well, on or before 6 p.m. on that date. Also, Mr. Washington, the court cost in this case is $392. Will you be able to pay the $392? Okay, now, do we have any information? Okay, we have to get some information on him. Okay. I need to get some information on you. Are you receiving any type of governmental benefits?
Yes, sir. Social Security.
Okay. Well. And do you have any other source of income?
No, sir.
Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna put this portion on mute. Mr. Washington, do you have any expenses?
No, sir.
You don't have to pay. Now, let me do this here. Do you
Oh, yes.
do you own a home?
No, I pay rent.
Paying rent? And what's your rent a month?
$650.
And you have utilities?
Yes, sir. Like
What's that? What's their utilities?
what? The light bill?
Yes.
Like 50 a month.
50, okay. And you have any child expenses, any child support, anything that you pay? What about your food expenses?
I was stamped, but they got cut off.
Okay. So what do you estimate that you might have to pay a month? 2? Okay. Okay, so okay. Do you own a vehicle? Do you have to pay any transportation costs?
No, sir.
Okay. Any cell phone bill?
Like $40.
Okay. No probation fees or medical expenses, right? Okay. Okay, Mr. Washington, the court is going to find that you are indigent. And based on that finding, the court costs in this case will be waived. Okay. Let's see, this is okay. Okay, so and the court is gonna waive the court cost pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Because the court has found it that you're innocent. Okay, now, Mr. Washington, do you understand the state's offering the court's findings?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Washington, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. And you are scheduled to turn yourself in on the scheduled date, the 28th.
Yes, Your Honor.
The 28th of May 28th at or before 6 p.m. All right, she's gonna give you a document that you can bring with you, so when you turn yourself in at the gym right here, Yeah, she's gonna give you a document that you need to have with you when you go to the jail to turn yourself in. Okay, next case is Rosie Walters, cause number 324334. We have Miss Rosie Walters present in court. Miss Walters is present in court. Her attorney is Mr. David Grove, who is appearing via Zoom. Miss Melanie Smith. Is Mr. Grove on the line or is he on Zoom? Mr. Grove, would you please take your mic off of mute? Yeah, Mike, Miss Grove, you got to take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
hear me now?
that's,
Sorry.
yeah, we can hear you now. Mr. Grove, how are you doing?
I've been better, but I'm doing well, Judge.
Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. Grove, you're representing Rosie Walters, who's present in court. Miss Walters, how are you doing?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Grove, what's your announcement in Miss Walters' case?
Judge, I'm not ready because I just got out of the hospital, but I can be the next court setting. If we could just
Okay.
get this reset from this
Hey,
point.
you have any objection?
State has no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset. We're gonna grant its continuance. It's gonna be reset to June 27th of 2022. Mr. Grove, your reset will be sent to you. And I think this is your last case. You're free to go. And we hope you have a speedy recovery. And Mr. and Miss Walters, you're gonna get your reset here in court. Please stand on the 4X. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
You too, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, you're welcome. Oh, that's fine. Okay. We have anybody else? Who is this? Jeff Truss? Who's the attorney? Laura Peraza, where's she? Well, just have a seat, Mr. Truss. We'll wait for your attorney to come back. Now, Mr. Allen. Yeah, that's the docket. Okay, Treasurer Ross, she's the first one on the announcement docket. Oh, Phineas, he's in jail, so you don't have to worry about that.
I need to make an announcement for that.
Okay.
Ms. Ross.
Because it's set, his felony case is set
2 o'clock.
today. Oh, it's set at 2 o'clock?
It is.
You can make your announcement now, or you can make your announcement after you find out what happens on the felony case. So I think we carrying it, these misdemeanor cases are being carried along with the felony. That's why I said on the day.
Yes, well, we had discussion last time, I'm trying to get a copy of the psych eval. but
Oh, yeah, that's
the
in the
court
felony
was
court.
Ordered it, but I got a copy from the doctor's office, and I didn't know if I needed to share that with y'all.
Well, right now, we need to see what they're gonna do in this felony case, because yeah, we'll find out, but let's do this here. This is cause number 321342, cases filed the state of Texas versus Tresha. Is that Teresa?
Yes, sir.
Teresa Brooks Ross? Ms. Ross, how are you doing?
I'm blessed.
That's good. Now, Ms. Ross, you hear, well, your attorney of record is attorney Terrence Allison. However, standing in for Mr. Allison is attorney Marivius Allen. Does Mr. Allen have your permission to stand in for Mr. Allison?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Allen, again, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. What is your announcement in Ms. Ross's case?
Yeah, so we applied for a drug impact diversion last month, and we're still waiting to hear. And we made an appearance in the drug impact court this morning and just reset it for June 13th.
Oh, it's been, so the felony case is reset for June 13th?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want it set on that same day? Okay,
Yes.
let's give him a reset to June 13th along with his felony. Reset it with his felony. Ms. Ross, your attorney is gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. You can stand over there next to your attorney.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Nelson and Mr. Allen, on George Finney, calls number 331158, calls number 331160, and calls number 331184. On these three cases, Mr. Allen, you will be making an announcement on behalf of Mr. Allison in these cases?
Yes, so the psych eval was done in February. He was declared incompetent, but the issue is that the mother and he was trying to get to inpatient recovery at state hospital.
So he's
Incompetent, kind of hard to prosecute him.
well, I understand. So he's waiting on a bed? Is that what you're saying? He's still in the county jail?
Felony court to decide what
Yeah.
they're going to do.
They haven't had they're making that decision today?
Yes.
Okay, well, we have to wait and see what the felony is gonna do. Now, you like to keep this case along with the felony case?
Might be best because they may do what I want this court to do today. So they declared that he is officially incompetent, and I'm assuming that the prosecutor will move for dismissal, but
Oh, well, I don't know about that. They may move forward with having him sent to a facility to see if he can regain his competency.
well,
That's what normally
we're trying to
happens.
figure out whether or not they're dismissal or send him somewhere else.
Okay, so we'll just keep this case along with the felony case. All right, so we don't have that date yet, so you're free to go. Our court coordinator stay on top of it, and once we get that date, that will be sent to your office. Okay, so I think these are the only cases. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
We have somebody else?
Jonathan Davis, he was an
That's yours, Davis? I mean,
Yes, sir.
oh, okay. You said that, okay, that was added on?
Yes,
Let me,
I have Mr. Jarbone came back. He said you told him to come back with his felony.
his reset, right. He was represented by John Mason. You say June 20th is Darbone's case been reset to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Darbone, once you get your recess, stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. You said, Jonathan Davis. That's the add-on, right?
Yes, sir.
What's that number for Adam?
The number? Yeah, he has 323-898.
It's already been there.
Thank you.
Yes. Does he have two cases?
It was 3.
But so they're going on,
One case. 323-898.
okay. And you checked it? Who checked it? Okay, I was just,
I only have one, you said 3?
yeah,
Okay.
look like,
I have 3.
2 were being dismissed and 1 is we're pleading on 1.
I'll give you some money. You don't have to be picking in the garbage. We're all on this together.
Judge.
huh?
You're good.
30 seconds. I have somebody on the docket by the name of Taylor Moran or Lawrence.
Okay.
It's on the announcement.
Hold on a minute, let me find out. Okay, Mr. Samuel,
He's been picking in the garbage. Don't call him.
yeah. Mr. Samuel,
Yes.
he, is it all right for Mr. Burbank? He wanted to approach the bench on something. I think you're next.
Your Honor, no, yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Burbank, who's your client?
It is Tally and Taylor Lenore.
What's that
323737.
What docket?
number? It's on the trial docket.
Okay, hold on a minute.
332.
Okay.
3237.
Is that Talel Ahmad Taylor Lenore? Would you please call that name?
No, you're not going to get an answer.
Well, you still have to call the name.
That's the reason why I'm. And I didn't get a copy of it. It's a video showing that. And he says it's not him. This other attorney should have known. Something about tattoos. Your Honor,
Okay.
if I may, about 1 o'clock this morning, I got a phone call from his family. He is in intensive care in Galveston. He was involved in a motorcycle accident in Porter, Texas. So he is down in Galveston right now. We are attempting to get medical verification, but his mom and someone else called. His mom called her, well, as I said, 1 o'clock this morning, and I didn't answer. And also at 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, so what we'll do,
I will fax it over to you as soon as I get it.
okay, I mean, we can go forward on the bond forfeiture and, we just, normally they don't go through to like 4 something. I mean, we give you time to get us that information. So
I
if
don't
you,
even know if he's alive.
we don't know. I don't know either, but I mean, we're gonna give you time to get the information. Okay,
That'd be excused, Judge.
okay. Well, this is cause number 323-737. Case of style of state of Texas versus Talel Ahmad Taylor Lenore. Mr. Lenore was scheduled to be in court for 9 a.m. this morning on today's date of May 9th, 2022 at about 9 a.m. The court's bailiff called the name of Taylor Ahmad or Talel Taylor Lenore at the courthouse door. Mr. Taylor Lenore did not answer. Mr. Lenore has not appeared in court. The bailiff just called his name again at or about 10:54 a.m. on today's date. Mr. Lenore's attorney did appear. Mr. Terrence Burbank has announced to the court that Mr. Lenore has been involved in an accident. And that information came from Mr. Taylor Lenore's family. And so the court is going to give Mr. Burbank an opportunity to get the necessary information to the court. And so the court is state, do you have a motion?
The state motions for bond forfeiture.
Okay, now what we'll do, that motion will be granted. The court will put a hold on the bond forfeiture pending the information from, to be received from Mr. Burbank.
I'll see what I can do, Judge. Can I be excused?
Yes, you may be excused.
Would you let Mr. Samuel go now next? Because
Yeah, are you ready, Mr. Samuel?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Samuel, yeah, you have Jonathan Andrew Davis.
Yes.
And the court is in session in 3 cases. First case is cause number 323896. Second case is cause number 323898. And the third case is cause number 323900. All 3 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jonathan Andrew Davis. We have, now, Mr. Davis, is that your full name, Jonathan Andrew Davis? Mr. Davis, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Davis, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Davis?
Doing well, Your Honor. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Davis, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Aldwin Samuel. Mr. Samuel, how are you doing?
It's a great day, Judge.
Mr. Samuel, do you waive a record in Mr. Davis's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about July 7th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal mischief. Mr. Davis, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Mr. Davis, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Davis, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davis, are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see how this thing goes. Okay, Mr. Davis, I have before me 1 minute, a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Now, Mr. Davis, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Davis, there are a set of initials JD that are on a line next to a box that's checked, no contingency. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, Mr. Davis, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davis, I have another document before me. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature above the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Davis, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Davis, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers both states 1 and states 2.
There's no objection, Your Honor.
No objection, States 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Davis, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Salmon, you advised and counseled Mr. Davis. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
There's none, Your Honor.
And Mr. Davis, your attorney, Mr. Samuel, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Davis, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state's asking that the court defer a finding of guilty, place this defendant on community supervision for a period of 2 years. Also order that he perform 60 hours community service restitution, pay a $500 fine, cost of court, and also that he abide by the standard conditions of probation to include providing the probation department with proof that he has purchased a new cell phone for a Stephanie Tate, and that he also have no contact with Stephanie Tate, and that he successfully attend and complete the batterer's intervention prevention program, Your Honor. And lastly, he, in exchange for his plea, we're also agreeing to dismiss pursuant to Chapter 1245 of the Penal Code 2 cause numbers in 2 companion cases, that those cause numbers being 323-896 and 323-900.
Your Honor, that is our understanding of the agreement. However, I just thought of one thing. It might necessitate Mr. Davis's counsel to contact the client to verify the purchase of the cell phone if we're not able to get it any other way.
I was wondering how she was gonna get the cell phone. I didn't know if she was gonna bring it to the
She-
DA's office
she
or if she was
already
gonna bring
has
it.
a cell phone. It's already been purchased.
The terms of our agreement is that proofs just need to be provided to the probation department that he has in fact done that.
Oh, he just need to provide proof to the probation
Yeah,
office?
but that was done back in 2019.
Okay,
That's how
so
long
he just need a receipt or something?
Either a receipt or something in writing from the
victim.
From the victim.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
like, as Mr. Samuel stated, it's probably a good idea if they need something in writing for him to be that person, one person.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, normally the state is representing the complaining witness. I don't see why the state can't just pick up a phone and say, hey, did the guy buy your cell phone?
If that's okay, we don't.
The state would have done that if it would just drop, this wasn't dropped on the state just today.
And council has to admit this was just dropped on council.
Okay, well, let y'all work it out as long as he get
Verify.
the verification to the probation department.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, but he can't contact.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Wanted to make sure we know he's
Right,
not gonna contact.
right. Okay. Now let me do this. Okay, Mr. Davis, the state is offering that you serve 2 years deferred adjudicated probation. On this 2-year probationary period, during this 2-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $402, which comes to a total fine and court costs of $902. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you're reimbursed Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Actually, that should be $300. He got multiple cases, right?
2 of which they were dismissed.
I know, but I mean, when he submitted his bill, he submitted the bill probably for, isn't that $300?
Yeah.
Probation's not based on it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he has to reimburse the county the $300 that the county is spending for his attorney. The county is gonna be paying $300 to, yeah, so,
I don't
So
know.
you want them to read 300 for the court of
right,
fee?
right.
Each?
No, it's just for that.
What's the max of 300? So it's
Yeah.
$100 per case.
I was just
And
asking.
If you just had one, it would be the 250.
I was.
Right.
Okay.
Right, just go ahead on and redo that.
Okay.
Once I noticed he got 3 cases.
It's printing.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
It's just gonna bring it up a little bit. Yep, it's probably about $2. Yeah, it's probably gonna go up about $2.
$2.
I'm talking about on his fee that he has to pay for, well, it's $5. Okay. Okay, now let me do this here. Mr. Davis, the state is offering that you serve 2 years deferred adjudicated probation. During the 2-year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $402, which is a total of fine and court costs of $902. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And you'll be required to reimburse the Jefferson County court-appointed attorney's fees of $300. Now, the total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will have to be required to pay while you're on probation, is $130 a month. Will you be able to pay the $130 per month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and successfully complete the BIP program and pay all associated costs for that. You will also be required to provide proof of purchase of a cell phone for Stephanie Tate. You cannot have any contact with Stephanie Tate. And cause numbers 323-896 and cause number 323-900 will be dismissed. You'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditioning of your probation. Now, Mr. Davis, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Davis, I will follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Davis, you're gonna stand on the X. Well, first of all, Mr. Davis, if you successfully complete the probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record for a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, this will conclude your case. You're gonna stand on the X and follow the directions of our clerk
I have one question, Your Honor. There was a existing warrant.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that usually
We'll
go,
bond for it.
yeah, okay.
Well, I
State-
just wanted to make sure.
Okay, just hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Mr. Davis, what is the warrant for?
He was supposed to have been here last Monday.
Okay, so that,
Withdraw that.
so you moving to withdraw the bond forfeiture?
Yes, Your Honor.
We have no objection to that.
Okay, so that warrant, yeah, but he needs to keep his paperwork with him because it's gonna take a while before it gets through the system. And you need to have that, because if you get stopped, you need to show him that you disposed of the case. All right, you can
Thank
stand
you.
right there.
Paperwork on that trust, I changed.
Hmm?
So just update the paperwork on that one you have over there for that.
What was up? You need to change.
Yes, I changed it already.
Okay.
Okay. You say you've never been convicted or given deferred adjudication or regular probation for a misdemeanor or felony or any other state, and that you have no criminal charges filed.
Yeah, hold on a minute. I'm just still working on something. I have his dismissal's gonna be coming out. His dismissals are coming off right now. Okay. Yeah, trust. Jeff Trust. Who's the attorney? Oh, Perazo, you just skip that. Okay, just have a seat. We have to wait for your attorney to come back. Mr. Smith. Is that Damian Robertson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bailiff, would you please call Damian? Oh, he's here. We gotta get one of the prosecutor. This is Damian Robertson. Actually, it's Mr. Coleman's case.
Yes.
He's on the announcement docket.
Yes, Your Honor, we appeared in felony court this morning as the felony has been reset to August 1st. We're asking that this case follow the felony.
Okay, now just for the record, your name is Damian Todd Robertson. This is cause number 329368. Is that correct?
My name is Damian Robinson Senior.
Okay, they didn't have a senior in here, okay. Okay, Ms. Robinson, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. You represented here by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Smith, how are you doing? Okay. Now, Mr. Smith, you announced that his felony case has been reset August 1st, and you want this case to be reset with the same date, on the same date. Excuse me. State, you have any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Robertson, your misdemeanor case is going to be reset with your felony case. Mr. Smith, please sign for his reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. Yeah, you can sign right there on that. Damian Robertson. Mr. Bailey, Mr. Porter, would you please get Dylan Lowe? Okay, yeah, Dylan Lowe is one of them. Mr. Lowe? You can come forward. You're gonna stand on the X, wait for your attorney.
Thank you.
And this is Mr. Coleman's case.
Yes, Judge.
Dylan Lowe, he's on trial docket. And Mr. Okay, this is cause number 3269660, cause number 3269662, cause number 3269664. Case is styled State of Texas versus Dylan Wayne Lowe. Mr. Lowe, is that your full name?
Dylan Wayne Lowe.
Dylan Wayne Lowe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Lowe, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Smith, I have before me 3 motions for continuances that filed by the state. Do you have any objections?
We have no objection, Your Honor. In fact,
Okay.
we have filed a motion to withdraw due to the fact that.
Oh, you filed a motion? Okay.
I've already, it's on file, but it was.
Could I get a
it's
copy of that?
Due to the fact that I'm off the court appointed.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let me, before we get to that. We have 3 cases. Where's the motion? Yes, 3 cases. Okay, thank you. Mr. Lowe, I have before me in each case a motion to withdraw as counsel that has been filed by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Lowe, have you seen it? Have you been served a copy of the motion to withdraw? Let me get it to Mr. Lowe. All three of them, basically.
He knows about it. I just didn't get the copy.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lowe, your attorney, Mr. Smith, in his motions, basically saying that in number one, that he's your attorney of record, he was appointed by the court, and number two, that he's requesting the court to withdraw its appointment in this case, or in these cases, as he's no longer on the court-appointed list. And further, due to a heavy trial and heavy schedule, he does not have sufficient time to complete this case or these cases on a court-appointed basis. He has your address and telephone number. Now, Mr. Lowe, do you have any objections to Mr. Smith withdrawing as a counsel record? Okay. Now, Mr. Lowe, you still want the court to appoint a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. So our next lawyer, actually, he was just on Zoom. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, like he got like the next one. Okay. Mr. Lowe. The next lawyer on the list is Attorney Jack Lawrence. His name is Lowe. Dylan Lowe. Okay. Mr. Lowe, the motions to withdraw will be granted. And Mr. Smith, you are released from your representation of Mr. Lowe in his cases.
Thank you.
Mr. Lowe, you can stand on that 4X. You're gonna get your court-appointed attorney's information. Once you get that information, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too.
Okay.
I don't have that. When you change it with the attorney, I didn't have that. It's 409.
250.
There you go.
Your phone number? 2509. I just have to do it on.
Court is in session and calls number 322657. Case is style of State of Texas versus Jeff Hillman Truss Jr. Mr. Truss, is that your full name? Mr. Truss, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Truss, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Truss, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Truss?
Pretty good, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks, Mr. Truss. You're here represented by your attorney, Ms. Laura Perazzo. Again, Ms. Perazzo, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Perazzo, do you waive a record in Mr. Truss' case?
I do.
Mr. Truss, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor, well, actually, it's titled information. This document has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this document, it alleges that on or about March 11th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Truss, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, oh, you're in the document. It says the district attorney or somebody's in it.
Oh, it might be our path.
Oh, you still in?
No, it's completed, but we were
It-
I just had it here for the offer.
I can't get in it unless you close it. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Judge.
Oh,
we
that's
thought
fine.
that would be an easy way to always
Yeah.
have the offer, but
Yeah.
we won't do that.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem. It's just, I guess the way they programmed it, only one person could be in it at a time.
Did you see what the offer was?
I know it's 180 days.
It's up, it should be up.
It's on the judgment.
Do you have that?
Let him know he's next one. Any other questions?
I think we 180 have made some changes, so. I can take.
Let me do this here. Now, Mr. Truss, I also have another document before me that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on this document? And there are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also, Mr. Truss, I have before me a document on paper that's titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Truss, prior to signing and initialing these documents, the misdemeanor plea admonishments, which is State's Exhibit Number 1, the trial court certification, defendant's right of appeal, and the discovery certification, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Truss, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to also offer State's Exhibit Number 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers both states 1 and 2.
No objection.
Okay. No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit or admitted. Ms. Perazzo, you've advised and counseled Mr. Truss. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Truss, your attorney, Ms. Perazzo, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Truss, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient, here you go, evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea, in this case, the state's recommending 180 days confinement in the Jefferson County Jail. However, we're asking that the court suspend the imposition of that sentence and place the defendant on community supervision for a period of 18 months, or that he pay a fine of $750, that he perform 60 hours of community service restitution, that he comply with all the standard terms and conditions of probation, to include having an interlock device on any vehicle that he operates or has access to, and that he also comply with the DWI conditions imposed by the probation department.
Okay. Miss, yeah, thank you. Mr. Truss, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case, because the 180 days will be probated. That means that you'll be on probation for a period of 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,157. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you'll be required to pay he has one case or something? How many cases? Because you got, you said a court-appointed attorney's fees, and he has one, that should be $250.
Well, she has another case, and so it'd only be $300.
Is probation on that? On the second
I
case?
only have one case, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's all I see on the docket is one case. The trust only has one case.
Okay. Are you brother?
Yeah, but she got different clients.
Okay.
It's different fees on different clients.
Okay, I was about to say, I wasn't aware of another case.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But just hold on a minute, that'd be $250, yeah. Just hold on a minute. right quick. Now, Mr. Truss, the state has offered that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you not have to serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of, well, if you like, the court cost is about $407. Yeah. And it would come to a total of fine and court costs of $1,157. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, your analysis fee of $15 each month. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll be also required to pay a Jefferson County DW education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. The total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $160 per month. Mr. Truss, will you be able to pay the $160 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You will be required to attend and complete a DW education class and have a drug and alcohol assessment. Okay, you're supposed to have it. The interlock is not on here. You'll also be required to install an interlock.
I believe it should be on there.
No,
It's
no.
on the first one. I'm
She
gonna
didn't,
put it
yeah.
up. I'm gonna put it right now.
Yeah, you also be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And Mr. Truss, you also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Mr. Truss, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Truss, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Truss, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following our clerk's directions, you'll be free to go. And you have, apparently, bailiff has just brought to my attention, that he has a warrant. What is the rest? Yeah, he can talk, he'll talk to the bailiff. And he'll let you know. He just finish this process.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and place your right thumb on that one. Lift it up. Okay, try again. Perfect. Give me just a second. I'm gonna get it. You go ahead and find out what happened.
Yes, okay.
I'm sorry. It's okay. No, you're fine.
you.
Ms. Beck? Oh. Wow. Session in cause number 323-888. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Terrell Norvell Antoine. Mr. Antoine, is that your full name?
Sir,
How you doing, Mr. Antoine?
fine to you.
All right, now let me, I saw you hesitated. I guess
The
I
third.
see it's Terrell Norvell Antoine III.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, how are you doing, Mr. Antoine?
I'm fine to you.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Antoine, you're here represented by your attorney, Ms. Ferrazzo. Ms. Ferrazzo, do you waive a record in Mr. Antoine's case?
I do.
Mr. Antoine, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about May 27 of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, now, this information also further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that you, Terrell Norvell Antoine, on or about June 26th of 2012, in the County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, and cause number 292740, that you were convicted of the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, and that conviction became final prior to or before the commission of this offense. Is that true or not true?
2012.
Yes, is it true that you had a DWI conviction and cause number?
True.
It's true. Now, Mr. Antoine, also, now to the charge of driving while intoxicated, second, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Antoine, I have before me a document that is titled, yeah, I think I checked the wrong box. Should be the DWI second box.
I missed that, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Antoine, all right, thank you. Mr. Antoine, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. You recognize this document? This document has the box that says check DWI or driving while intoxicated, second offense in the range of punishment. Because it is a Class A misdemeanor, is the range of punishment for this offense is confinement in jail for at least 30 days, but not to exceed 1 year, a fine not to exceed $4,000 or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for DWI second?
Yes, sir.
Also, it states that, I don't think his is a probation. Yeah, also it states that a conviction resulting in a community supervision, which is probation, is required at least 72 hours, continuous hours, or 5 days in jail, drug/alcohol evaluation, rehabilitation, payment for costs of rehabilitation program, completion of program for repeat alcohol and drug offenders, completion of alcohol education program, and installation of ignition interlock on his or her vehicle. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Antoine, it must be a is that a signature or initials? Must be a signature. He was supposed to put his initials on page 2. Right there.
Just your initial, not your signature.
Okay. Now, Ms. Antoine, I have before me on page 2 of the same document, there are set of initials TA that are on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Are these your initials?
Sir.
On page 3 of the same document, There's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Sir.
And another document that I have is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Antoine, do you recognize this document?
Sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Sir.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? You have the discovery certification? Oh, okay. Thank you. Now, Mr. Antoine, I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, sir, correct.
Now, Mr. Antoine, before you sign and initial these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir, correct.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Antoine, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. Well, State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2 to probable cause affidavit.
State offers 1 and 2, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Ms. Peraza, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Antoine. Has advised in counsel, are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, correct.
Has she provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 Text Brilla too. Brilla, if you got it. Okay, Mr. Antoine, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 180 days in jail, probated by 8 months, 750 fine. I mean, 18 months.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I lost that one.
Okay, 180 days probated for 18 months, okay.
Yes.
Oh.
750 fine, 100 hours of community service requirement, 72 hours in jail to begin on May 13th. Drug and alcohol conditions.
Okay.
DW interlock and DWI conditions. That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Antoine. The state is offering that you serve 180 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, this 180 days will be prorated for a period of 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,157. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. You'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you are on probation, is $160 per month. Mr. Antoine, will you be able to pay the $160?
Yes, sir.
You will also be required to perform I thought I heard 100. I was a community service.
Thought it was 100.
The first place said 60, so did y'all change it?
Okay, no, it's been.
What is the
No, the state's intent was 60 hours.
60 hours?
That's what we changed.
Okay.
Okay, so 60.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, and you also be required to perform 60 hours of community service. You're required to attend and complete a DWI education class and have a drug and alcohol assessment. You'll attend a DWI intervention class, which is a repeat class. You'll also be required to install the DWI interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. And you'll be required to serve 72 hours in the Jefferson County Jail to begin on May 13th, 2022 at or before 6 p.m. And you'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and condition of this probation. Mr. Antoine, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Antoine, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Antoine, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you. Write down on my premises.
Catherine Jefferson.
Actually, not opposed to early termination. She gets everything done.
The court is in session and calls number 328-378. Case is style the state of Texas versus Catherine R. Jefferson. Ms. Jefferson, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Jefferson, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Ms. Jefferson, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Jefferson?
Fine, thank you.
That's good, Ms. Jefferson. You're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Paget. Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor.
Mr. Paget, do you waive a record of Jefferson's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jefferson, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about December 19 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Ms. Jefferson, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes.
And to this charge, Ms. Jefferson, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Okay, Ms. Jefferson, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Hold on a minute. Ms. Jefferson, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And on page 2 of the same document, Ms. Jefferson, there's a set of initials on a line that's next to the box no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? And on the next document, which is titled, well, the same document, but page 3, there's a signature above the line that's titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The second box check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And Ms. Jefferson, I have another document before me that's titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
It is.
And Ms. Jefferson, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
I do.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And Ms. Jefferson, are you a citizen of the United States? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2?
Yes, the state offers both states 1 and 2.
Any
No
objections?
objections to either.
No
States one and
objections.
States
State's
two.
Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Paget, you've advised and counseled Ms. Jefferson. Is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Jefferson, your attorney, Mr. Paget, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
yes.
Okay. Ms. Jefferson, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea in this case, we're asking that the court defer a finding of guilt, places defendant on community supervision for a period of 12 months, order that she pay a $750 fine, cost of court, perform 60 hours community service restitution, abide by the standard conditions of probation, including attending and successfully completing a theft class.
Ms. Jefferson, the state is offering that you serve 12 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 12-month deferred adjudicated probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs of $407, which comes to a total of $1,057. You will all, no, that's just, the court cost is $307, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $1,057. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $175 per month. Ms. Jefferson, will you be able to pay the $175 per month?
Yes.
You will also be required to perform 60 hours of community service and attend and complete a theft class. And you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Ms. Jefferson, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Okay, now, Ms. Jefferson, successfully complete this deferred adjudicated probationary period. This case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for non-disclosure. And you can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. You're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. You're welcome. Yeah. Glenn Brita. Okay, this is cause number 323-041. Mr. Brita, how are you doing? Okay, Mr. Brita, your attorney, Mr. Willie Wilkerson, is currently in trial in another county. So your case is going to be reset. You're gonna stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator over there. And she's gonna reset your case. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Chris Flores.
Most of them should be on trial.
Okay, how are you doing? Mr. Paget, Chris Flores case is on the, Chris Eduardo Flores case is on the court's trial docket. What's your announcement?
We're ready, Your Honor.
So we're gonna keep it on the trial docket. We're gonna, we'll get a reset date. Okay, it's gonna be reset to June 27th. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Yeah, this is, that was, Ms. Nelson's case.
Correct.
Okay, Paget, Chris Flores, okay. Maria Figueroa. This is cause number 326650. Case is style of State of Texas versus Maria Figueroa. Ms. Figueroa, that's your full name? Okay, Mr. Paget, what is your announcement, Mr. Figueroa's case? Same announcement? Okay, this case is going to be reset to July 27th. Excuse me, June 27th of 2022. Mr. Paget, you can sign for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Sign for your reset. Sergio Arriaga.
And he is, the case would go forward today, but we're gonna need a translator on it. He's deaf.
He's deaf?
He is.
Oh, we don't have a okay, what we're gonna have to do is,
I do, I mean, the way I'm communicating with him.
yeah, I know, what we'll do, we'll reset. There's a deaf translator. We may have to, you just get the code of motion and then we'll take a look at it. We've had deaf translators before.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's no way we can communicate with him.
No problem.
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody that. Okay, his name is Arriaga?
Correct.
Okay. Just reset to, oh, okay, just give us a reset. Yeah, regular reset. June 20th? You said, okay, this case is gonna be reset June. Let's give, reset a little further out.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to be safe, so we can make sure we.
Huh?
Just so we can
11?
make sure we can take care of it.
Okay. July 11th, 2022. Okay, I'll just make a note that says deaf. Is that the last one?
You're right. Go ahead.
Mr. Hold on, Mr. Paget.
Yes, sure.
Is that your last one, Mr. Paget?
I have a blinks, Your Honor. There is a case in drug.
You say blinks?
He should be on.
Page 2 of the announcement here.
He has
I look right over.
a companion case in drug court, and I'm not sure.
Well, that's your case too. Is it a blank? On the announcement?
Yes.
I believe it's on the announcement.
Mr. Unless he was already reset, because I don't see
I don't
him.
think so. He's right outside the door.
Huh?
It's a.
Oh, second to last page.
Page 2, towards the bottom.
Oh, yeah, he's on page 5.
Oh,
Yeah, that's on page,
5.
yeah.
Page 2.
Sean Anthony Blinks.
He's right outside the door. Got you. I just rolled that. Or she was hanging grenades with that close.
This is cause number 331562, case of style of State of Texas versus Sean Anthony Blanks. Mr. Blanks, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Blanks?
How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Blanks. You here represented by your attorney, Mr. Paget, Mr. James Paget. And Mr. Paget, what's your announcement in Mr. Blank's case?
Your Honor, the case has been reset in drug court, and I anticipate that case being disposed of next time. The misdemeanor will be dismissed upon plea.
Do we know the reset date?
I do not know.
Could you check to see what's the reset date on his
It
felony?
was just reset this morning. I'm not sure whether she has it in there yet.
June 13th.
There you have it.
So it's gonna be reset to June 13th of 2022. Mr. Blank's attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your attorney signed for your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Is that Mr. Portier on Zoom? Mr. Portier, you can take your mic off of mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, this is cause number 3211179. Case of style of state of Texas versus William Ray Portier Jr. Mr. Portier, how are you doing? Mr. Portier, how are you doing? His volume went off. Okay, but I can see him though.
Yes.
What is your announcement in Mr. Portier's case?
Judge, it looks like I'm number one for trial next door in CDC, so I can't go to trial.
Oh, I understand.
So
We put him on it, reset it for trial. It's gonna be June 27th, 2022. Okay, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Mr. Portier, this will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Your case has been reset to June 27th of 2022. Okay, so you're free to go. Okay, Mr. Portier, your case has been reset to June 27 of 2022. You're free to go. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman.
All right, I just now be able to hear you. I couldn't hear what you said before.
Okay, your case has been reset to June 27 of 2022. You're free to go. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. That was your last case?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Kelly, you have another case? Is that Benoit?
Yes, sir.
Could you please call the name of Daniel Benoit again? I think we called him earlier.
Daniel Benoit? Daniel Benoit? No response.
Okay, this is cause number 326448, case of style of state of Texas versus Daniel Benoit Jr. Daniel Benoit was scheduled to be in court this morning for the court's trial docket, which is scheduled at 9 a.m. on today's date of May 9th of 2022. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Daniel Benoit. Daniel Benoit did not answer. Daniel Benoit has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The bailiff just called Daniel Benoit's name again at 12:29 p.m. on today's date of May 9th of 2022. Again, Daniel Benoit did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Benoit an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
State moves for bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Daniel Benoit's bond will be forfeited and the warrant should be for his arrest in cause number 326448. And Mr. Kelly, this will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay. Did we finish with Mr. Do we have another plea? Okay, Mr. Jones?
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Vaughn, oh, this is cause number 327-880, cause number 327-882, and cause number 327-884. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Dustin Travis Valentine.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valentine, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Valentine, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Kent Johns. Attorney Johns, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, fine.
Okay, Mr. Johns, what's your announcement in Mr. Valentine's case or cases?
We just got a plea offer today from Mr. Coleman. Haven't even had a chance to relay it to my client yet. Would like to continue it to another resetting so we can then set it maybe plea or even put on the trial down.
Okay, so we'll keep it on the retrial conference docket. How much time do you need?
End of June,
In the June. Would it be June 27th? Okay, Mr. Valentine, your case has been reset to June 27th. Stay in contact with your attorney and bondsman. Your attorney is going to sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes,
And Mr. Johns, I think this is your only cases. So once you sign for your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. This is a pro se. Got Ms. Harvey. This is cause number 323-987, case of South State of Texas versus Brandon Jackson. Mr. Jackson, Brandon Christopher Jackson. Mr. Jackson, is that your full name? Mr. Jackson, you're represented here in this case by your attorney, Mr. Peter Dahl. Mr. Dahl, what's your announcement in Mr. Jackson's case?
The prosecutor is going to examine it to see if she wants to dispose of it. And if she doesn't, then we either motion to suppress or we'll see what she wants to look at. She has to look, it's a dope case,
Okay, how much time you need to reset to another date or?
30 days, 60 days.
30 days would be fine, Your Honor.
Okay,
June 20th?
June, you say June 20th?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, this case is being reset June 20th. Mr. Peter Dahl, please sign for his reset with our court coordinator on the floor, on the 4X.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Jackson, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
And the others,
Charles Landry,
he's here, Judge.
this is cause number 327-990. Case is filed state of Texas versus Charles Larry Pete Landry.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Landry, is that your full name?
Yes.
How are you doing, Mr. Landry? I'm doing fine now, Mr. Landry. On our docket sheet, it doesn't have no attorney designated to represent you, and we have a note here that said that Mr. Peter Dahl was to send a letter of representation in it. We just checked the records, and we haven't received that letter of representation.
She told me she sent it.
Well, we hadn't been received, so at this point, you're not his attorney of record. Now, Mr. Landry, I can reset this case and give you time so that Mr. Dahl can get the proper documentation into the court, identifying himself as your attorney of record. Okay, so give us a 30 standard reset.
June 20th.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to June 20th. Now, Mr. Landry, you're gonna stand on that 4X, you're gonna sign for the reset in front of our court coordinator. She'll tell you when to sign. And once you sign for your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And you can, yeah, check on that letter of representation.
And the other case is a felony that the court.
Is that the guy that's in jail?
Yes.
Okay,
And she's,
so what we'll normally do is we can reset it with the felony case.
I think that's what she's telling me to do.
Okay. Okay,
I
that's what,
talked to her about it this morning.
okay. Now you had, wait up, I'm looking at a Marvin Holmes. Is that the case you're talking about?
No, sir, it's, yes, it is. Sorry.
Okay, so,
And we pled McCoy.
hmm,
And McCoy has been reset or taken care of.
okay,
I got it checked off. I know we did it earlier.
okay, so we'll reset it with your, with the felony case.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. This will conclude your cases. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is cause number 329618. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jakeisha Alexis Harvey.
Yes, sir. Judge, I'm here. I was came in late, so that's why I continue on being available.
Also, that was, okay, I'm gonna go ahead on and, so you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get off.
I wasn't here by 9 o'clock to check in.
Okay. You can come forward. She's pro se. Ms. Harvey, your full name is Jakeisha Alexis Harvey,
Harvey Colby, yes, sir.
and how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Your case is on our pre-trial. Let's see, is she Pro se? Could we see, looking at, see if there's a waiver in her file? There's a waiver? Oh, okay, so Ms. Harvey, your case is on the pretrial conference plea docket. What are you gonna do in your case? Have you talked to the district attorney's office and
I'm not
have,
sure.
have you received an offer from them? Or you received discovery from them, like the state's evidence? Not received it, but have you had access to it?
No, sir, I was, when I spoke to you about 2 weeks ago, I told you that I was here to take deferred probation.
Oh,
Deferred
oh.
probation, deferred delivery.
So they had made it, I think that was a case where they made like an alternative offer, and she was gonna take one of them, if I'm not mistaken, and we reset it for this day.
The 6 months or either the $800.
We're looking it up right now, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, could we place this case on recall, please?
Okay, just have a seat. We're gonna call you back up. Daniel Domina Rivera. Got a vacation letter in. Yeah. Your attorney, I see here, he has a vacation letter here on file, and plus he's in trial in another county, Mr. Adams. So your case is gonna be reset. It's on the trial docket, page 4, second from the bottom. Please stand on the far X and your case will be reset. Thanks for your patience. Okay. Docket. The cases on the trial docket are being reset. So your case is going to be reset. Stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator. She'll reset your case. Once you get your case reset, you'll be free to go. Thanks for being patient with us. You have a blessed day. Jared was here too. Mr. Darden, come forward. Yeah. That's Mr. Donald Ray Darden the second.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Darden?
Doing good about yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Darden. You represented by Attorney Jared Gilthorpe. Attorney Gilthorpe was here earlier. And your case is on the trial docket, and the cases on the trial docket are being reset. So give us a date. They're being reset to June 27th.
Why is they resetting so many times? It's like 9 times already.
Well, I don't know about those times, but I know in the past we've had COVID. That's when most of them was reset. Okay. Yeah, but yeah. How you doing, Mr. Whitmire?
I can't complain. We're doing it good.
Okay, Mr. Whitmire, this is cause number 325-096. Your case is on a trial docket. Your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe, was here earlier. I don't know. if-
I seen him in the hallway, but he passed right by me on the phone and
Okay.
didn't say anything to me.
Okay, now, Mr. Whitmire, your case is gonna be reset. Stay in contact with your attorney, Mr. Gilthorpe. Stand on the forex. Thanks for being patient with us. You have a blessed day. What page? Julio Cesar Perez. This is cause number 327-738, Julio Cesar Perez. Mr. Perez, your attorney, is Mr. Gilthorpe. He was here early. Your case is being reset. Please stand on the 4X to get your reset. Yeah, right there. Mr. Coleman.
Yes, Judge.
I think this is a case that Mr. Faggett had reset. You remember, he came to the office last Friday evening. And I think you had a continuance and we granted it.
What's the defendant's name, Judge?
Chase Morgan Kimball.
I think you're right, Judge.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I granted that. I don't know. Look at his file. Was there a continuance granted?
No, you probably did, but this document,
Oh, this docket was printed before, okay. Okay, so, yeah, let's see when this case was reset to.
July
You-
25th.
Yeah, your case was already reset. I'm sorry for that, Mr. Kimball. Yes, you give him a copy of his reset.
And lumber.
Hmm?
Lumber. This provost on.
Well, no. He's sitting right there. Mr. Lumbeck, would you please come up? Go ahead and get Mr.
329-368.
Yeah, see you later, Mr. Kimball.
That's what I was saying.
Lumbeck is reset too? That one was reset too. That one was reset.
Lumber,
Yeah, that,
One more time.
329-214.
329-214. Oh, what is it? Oh, yeah, felony today. Okay.
oh, okay, so you had to go take care of the felony and then come here. Okay, that's what, and your attorney wants the case to be reset on the same date of your felony case. Okay. Did they give you a court date on the felony?
They haven't updated it yet.
Okay, what we're gonna do,
He said he gonna call me around 1 or 2 o'clock.
I was about to say, yeah,
He
he's
was in
on the
there?
trial doc.
oh, he's gonna try that, okay. So what you need to do, go to the felony court. And when you finish in the felony court, you're gonna come back down here. If these doors to this courtroom is locked, then you're gonna go right next door to the blue doors. And there's a lady that's sitting behind the window. She's gonna contact this court so we can come up and get that information from you. But don't leave until you check in with this court, because your bond won't be forfeited. Do you understand?
Go stay right here.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Go check in with the felony court. And if your case, whatever happens with the felony case, come back here to let us know. If the doors are locked, you're gonna go to the lady with the blue doors, which is right next door down that little hallway, right? And go to the window, and she's gonna call our court, and we're gonna come out to get that paperwork from you, so that we'll know what date your court to set your case on. All right?
Yes.
All right, but don't leave until you talk to somebody, until you talk to us.
All right.
All right? All right, you can go have a seat in the hallway and wait for them to call your case.